So here we start with spirit gum and make sure we apply it liberally to the area you want to put your wax on. And once you apply it there, make sure it's tacky. You're going to take the wax, roll them into strips or closest form that you want to use, but a ridge like that will help so you can spread them out. And just using your fingers, I used lotion to keep putting on my fingers. That way the wax did not stick to your finger, because that does make it a big pain in the neck when it sticks to your fingers and you can't get it off. Then you got to keep reapplying because it pulls the wax back off your skin where you wanted it. I am speeding up the process a little bit because it is a little tedious. I think the whole operation here took me a total of 2 hours to get it just right. First time I was using the wax, but it did turn out pretty darn good. So here we go, getting it all into place, and then I will show you, skipped ahead just a little bit on what it ends up looking like. So I wanted to do a cross, and that's what we ended up with. So it does bubble up. You want it to be a little bit rough on the edges there. Now I'm taking a knife. I'm not cutting into my skin. You can use a wooden skewer, something like that can be used as well. I've like my knives. Plus it looked really cool in the video of doing it for this. Now you can see the ridges in there where I've cut into the wax itself, but not all the way through to my skin. And now I'm just applying the black hairspray to my hair to give it kind of a wet, floppy look on there, so it looked like it was almost drowned and a little scary. So now I'm going to start the process of getting the white makeup on, and it is a grease makeup. I like the grease makeup because it does spread pretty well and does layer up on there. And I'm tapping that, make sure we're patting it and tapping on there around the wax, because you don't want to smear it and spread it and pull it off of you. Everywhere else, yeah, go ahead, smear away on all the other skin areas on there. I have shaved my beard off in order to create a good surface on there. Otherwise, it just ages me about 30 years when putting it over the hair, because it does make it look like it's gray and white. But I'm going to go ahead and apply that over all surfaces on my head and around my neck into under the shirt. That way it is pretty seamless at that point then. Once I get that all done, I want a real good white base on here. It helps the red and black really pop off of your skin and you look more demonic and pale. Now I'm taking some of the powdered makeup, and I think this is like a dark shadowy or smoky eye set of makeup on there for eye makeup and eyeliner on that. And I'm just creating hard lines that I'm going to blend in quite a bit down, so that way it really shrinks my face in. I look a little bit thinner, even though I'm a pretty big guy and a little thick. That will slim my face down quite a bit on there to show more of a cheekbone and line that has been drawn down in and sunk in, a little more evil looking, throwing off my natural jawline and cheekbones. All right, so now that I've gotten those done, and it's just pretty subtle, but in different lighting you can really tell a difference with those lines. Now I'm taking it in and going in around my eyes, darkening those up in there. You'll see in a second that it does definitely bring it down and give a little bit more depth on there. I am taking these, doing large areas at this time, and then you end up blending them in later, so that way it is a little more seamless, like you've been not sleeping for days at a time, and very demonic look to it. And with the Scalera black contacts that I have in, you can really tell that it's a demonic feel and look that I'm going for here. Now that I've gotten the eyes done, I'm going to be going in with black, the dark, the same eyeshadow that I was using before, making those cuts where I scraped into that wax and highlighting those real dark in those cuts. Doing that was really going to make it look like a wound that's starting to heal up a bit or has been almost cauterized at that point or is infected. Gives it a real good solid look on there. Then I go in, kind of fade around it a little bit with maybe some other shadows to give it a little bit more bruising or irritated look. The other thing I'm going to do here, which I did end up screwing up, I went and started putting the demon blood, which is a lot darker than normal blood. You'll see that right there. And I'm dripping those in to give it a little bit more wet feel. The other thing that you can use is the scab blood. That works really well too for keeping it longevity for a few hours of looking wet, moist, blood clotting on there, and does look like a scab. But as I'm going for more of a demon look, I'm using that demon blood. It is still red, but it is extremely dark crimson color, almost black, where it looks like something black was mixed in with blood. And dropping those down in strategic places around the eyes, the ears, the nose is a good way. And just having a tissue on hand once you do that and it drips down to where you want it to, using that to dab it off a little bit will help. Okay, so I've gotten most of that done, and what I'm doing now is taking the red grease makeup, and I take one of the sponges that's, I don't even sure what they're calling it. It's like a real coarse sponge, so it's putting it on around the eyes, around the whatever wound you have created, and that will create that look of irritation. That it has bled out, it's either been wiped, that skin is super irritated around there. I'm going to do that around my mouth, my ears, my nose, my eyes, and the wound. Once we've got that done, it does come together pretty quickly and look cohesive. That's where around those edges of the makeup, you can make it look seamless and natural occurring. And the spray that I just put on was a makeup sealer, so that way it's going to help stay there the whole night if it does rain, and it did rain that night, and it'll keep it nice all night long. So here I'm just doing a couple finishing touches, and that's about it. You just kind of apply the blood where you think it's going to look good and look semi-natural and creepy, and you've got yourself great makeup for the Halloween party and scare the pants off everyone. I've got a few more photos here that I'm going to put on that show a couple different ways to do those wounds. Enjoy.